Hello everyone, today you will hear an interesting story. I have been living with my wife Kate for 7 years. However, doubts about our marriage started to creep in over time. We weren't entirely sure from the beginning whether we made the right decision, whether we truly wanted to be together and create a family. Despite this, our life together was filled with joy and support. We loved spending time together and enjoyed each other's company. So, we eventually decided to get married and try to make it work. I also have an older daughter, Anne, from a previous marriage. She works as a psychologist, and we often engage in deep, meaningful conversations on various topics that concern both of us. She has always been my best friend. We also have a little 3-year-old girl, Joan, my sunshine, who fills my life with light, joy, and her infectious laughter. I am willing to do everything in my power to provide her with a happy childhood. Women have always surrounded me at home, although Anne now lives with her husband and carries their baby. Kate and Joan, I work as a university lecturer and have never had any trouble connecting with women. It seemed like I always knew how to understand them all, except for one person, my wife. My friend Dan, my childhood best friend, became my enemy on par with my beloved. It happened a few months ago, and I still don't know what to do or how to act. Dan, who used to be my closest friend, has become my problem, and this situation requires an immediate resolution. The thirst for revenge grows with each passing day. I never thought he was capable of such a treacherous act. Our peaceful and happy family life began to crumble when I stumbled upon evidence that proved the intimate relationship between Kate and Dan. I'm usually a calm person because my work requires me to maintain composure and understanding with my students. But I felt the seed of hatred sprouting in my heart and a vengeful plan forming in my mind. I couldn't peacefully observe her lies, his hypocrisy, their interactions. I don't even know how I managed to restrain myself from killing him as soon as I found out. My thoughts went wild every time I had a moment to myself and knew about it. We talked about it, and she urged me to simply end this marriage and move on, to stay in touch with Joan, and try everything in my power to ensure she doesn't repeat her mother's fate or see her as an example. At work, as a university lecturer, I was popular among young and innocent female students. Maintaining excellent physical shape was always a concern for me, and I kept myself in good condition. I can't deny that these moments flatter my self-esteem, but despite their beauty and temptation, I always rejected them. I had a wife, and despite everything, I had feelings for her. A repulsive feeling of helplessness and disgust towards myself. With her, I completely lost my masculinity. And this shameless harpy continued her performances and shows as the loving wife and wonderful mother. Once again, I found myself in Anne's therapist chair. "I can't even imagine the limits of your patience," my daughter calmly said, as always. I'm shocked myself. Sometimes looking at her, I want to tear her apart. To lie so shamelessly to my face, and when she kisses Joan, I turn my head away. I can't bear to watch it. Maybe you'll listen to me after all? No, Anne, I'm not going to talk to her or try to resolve our relationship. She'll keep lying to me. I understand. Today I returned home earlier than usual. One of the students with whom I had extracurricular lessons canceled today due to personal reasons. On my way home, I picked up Jo from the kindergarten. She was very happy today because the boy she liked gave her a book about Peter Pan as a gift. We got out of the car together, entered the house, and suddenly the silence was shattered by someone's screams and moans coming from our shared bedroom with Kate. "Daddy, what's wrong with Mommy?" my daughter asked, frightened. "Let's get out of here quickly." "Wait for me in the car." The baby ran out of the house, following her dad's instructions, and settled in the back seat. Meanwhile, I took out my work phone and positioned it on the bookshelf, using a small vase as support. The camera was pointed towards the bedroom exit and the street, and I hurried to get away. My daughter and I immediately drove to the park, where I bought her some ice cream and tried various distractions to divert her attention from what she heard. But Jo was too smart to believe my lies. "Daddy, what happened to Mommy? Why was she screaming? Did it hurt her?" she asked while sitting on the swing. "No, it was just that your mother had a scheduled acupuncture session, which helps with stress and nerves, something I completely forgot about." I tried to come up with all possible excuses. I understand. Her voice carried a hint of distrust. My phone rang. Yes, Kate? Where are you? Is Joe with you? My wife spoke anxiously. Yes, I'm heading home. We decided to take a walk in the park and have some ice cream. All right, I'll be waiting. Next time, let me know when you pick her up from kindergarten. Sure, that's all I could squeeze out. Next time, let me know when you'll be having intimate massage sessions with Dan. When I arrived home, I immediately retrieved the phone that was still recording. I didn't even want to see what was on it, I just kept it. That same evening, which happened to be a Friday evening, Dan called me. How mindless, underdeveloped, audacious, and dishonest one must be to call me again. Yes, I replied curtly. Hey, buddy, how are you feeling? Dan spoke cheerfully. Of course, how could he feel after massaging my wife? Fine. I'm a bit busy. Make it quick. I wanted to suggest meeting up tomorrow at El Diablo, a middle-class bar not far from the highway where all sorts of society's dregs gather, from low-level politicians to prostitutes and ordinary drug addicts. Why? We can talk, reminisce about the good old days, just spend some time and finally distract ourselves from work. Fine, whatever. Great. See you tomorrow at 10 p.m. Works for you? Yes, the next day I spent writing a book. A book about life and death, good and evil. I had dreamed of it for a long time. Every self-respecting man should find a loved one, create a child with them, build a home, plant a tree, and write a book. I had fulfilled almost all of those tasks. Thank God for my daughters. My book was already the third, but I hadn't printed any yet. I wrote for myself and couldn't muster the courage to publish. Could it become a part of history? Impossible. My daughter knew about it, but she was the only one. We worked together on the first book. It was about the psychology of parent-child relationships. Our research in this field could have caused a real stir in the scientific community, but Bothan and I decided to postpone publishing this story for better times. In the evening, as we had agreed, we met with Dan. After a few glasses of wine, beer, and tequila shots, he started a very strange conversation. How can you live with Kate? He suddenly asked. What do you mean? I asked. She's a lying bitch, only thinking about other men, Dan said, pouring himself another glass of tequila. Where did you get that from? I asked. I slept with her. And it turns out she cheated not only on you. You're a piece of shit, I exclaimed. How dare you say such things to my face? How could you do this to me, after so many years of friendship knowing that I have a child? I stood up and started attacking Dan in every possible way. Kicking, punching, I knocked out several of his teeth, dislocated his arm, did something to his back and knee. I employed all the techniques I remembered from my childhood when I practiced karate. Surprisingly, when good people pulled me away, Dan got up and walked towards the exit as if he was just bored. Couldn't this bitch calm down? Kate was already 35, not exactly young, to lead such a reckless lifestyle, especially with a young daughter. But does she even think about anyone other than herself and her own skin? When I got home, I did the following. Lit scented candles, turned off the lights, opened a bottle of wine we received as a wedding gift, ordered pizza and sushi, arranged the couch for both of us to be comfortable, turned on the big TV, and waited. Waited for her. Honey, I'm home, echoed from the entrance. Wow, what's all this? My wife exclaimed in surprise. She asked, settling down beside me, what movie? I replied, an interesting one recommended by Dan. The screen flashed, showing a picture of our house from the inside. The audio started playing as well. Kate suddenly heard her voice, or rather screams and moans. I don't understand, what's this? She gasped. Keep watching, I said. I fast-forwarded the recording, and Dan appeared on the scene, completely undressed, carrying Kate in his arms. They both kissed and continued their pleasures on the table with the boxes, which stood next to the bedroom door. The woman continued to scream loudly and moved in sync with Dan. It all ended with a joyful fountain, the result of their lovemaking, and after a few more kisses, they both headed to the bathroom together. You deserve death, heartless slut, I said. This is how you value our relationship. This is the example you set for our daughter. This is how you love me. I'm ready to beat you to death right here and now. But I don't want to soil my hands with your filthy blood and flesh. Get out of my house. Get out of my life. Kate couldn't utter a word. Her hands trembled, her face turned pale, and then flushed. Shame, fear, and hatred filled my wife. Oh, I could feel it. I wanted this. She quickly put on her sweater, grabbed her bag, put on her shoes, and ran out of the house. I stood in one place, not understanding my own feelings. I had waited for this moment of revenge for so long and didn't fully enjoy it. Why? I don't know. My revenge didn't end there. Fate intervened in the course of events. While attending a regular consultation with my daughter Anne, to whom I told everything I had done and how it didn't bring me the expected result, I received a phone call that shocked me. Will Collins, Texas State Police, John Harrison. Your wife, Kate Collins, has been found shot to death. Please come to the station to clarify all the circumstances. Of course, I was the prime suspect, and Dan was also present during the interrogation, appearing frightened and concerned. I had an alibi that several of my neighbors and my daughter confirmed. I called her immediately and invited her over. Dan was also cleared of suspicion. As the investigation unfolded, it became clear that I was not involved in Kate's tragic death. The police eventually discovered evidence pointing to her involvement in drug issues. Becoming the sole parent for Joan was not an easy task, but I was determined to give her the best life possible. I poured my love and attention into her, ensuring she felt safe and cherished. It was a challenging journey, filled with ups and downs, but together we persevered. In the midst of healing and rebuilding our lives, I found solace in writing. Drawing from my own experiences, I began to pen stories that explored the intricate dynamics between men and women. I delved into the complexities of relationships, the joys and the struggles and deep emotions that bind two souls together. My writing resonated with readers, and as time went on, I gained recognition as a talented writer. My books offered insights, touched hearts, and provided solace to those navigating the complexities of love and relationships. I became known for my ability to capture the nuances of human connection, weaving stories that spoke to the depths of the human heart. Through my literary success, I was able to provide a stable and fulfilling life for my daughters. Joan grew up surrounded by love, encouraged to pursue her passions and dreams. As she blossomed into a remarkable young woman, she often reminded me of my late wife, Mary. Joan possessed her spirit, resilience, and an innate kindness that shone through. As the years passed, my books continued to garner acclaim, and I became a renowned writer known for my poignant exploration of the human heart. I authored numerous best-selling novels, each offering a unique perspective on the intricacies of love, forgiveness, and personal growth. Alongside my writing, I remained dedicated to being the best father I could be. In time, Joan pursued her own path, driven by a passion for social justice and a desire to make a difference in the world. While our journeys diverged, we remained each other's pillars of strength, always connected by the love that bound us. Looking back, I couldn't help but feel a sense of gratitude for the unexpected turns life had taken. Despite the pain and heartache, I had discovered a new purpose, a path that allowed me to touch countless lives through my words. And in the process, I had forged an unbreakable bond with my daughters, creating a legacy of love, resilience, and the enduring power of family. So I continue to write, pouring my heart and soul into every page, sharing stories that remind us all of the profound beauty and complexity of the relationships we forge in this unpredictable journey called life.
Me? Dear listeners, your support is very important to us. Me? If you like our story, please like, comment, and subscribe. Me? It's very motivating for us. Me? We need your feedback to improve our content.